Transport. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Masesi. And at this time, I wish to call Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, Chairperson, Budget and Appropriations Committee. Honorable Ndambuki.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, MCA Kathiani Central Ward. Honorable Speaker, that aware that the 4th schedule of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 bestows the county government with matters of implementation of specific natural resources and environmental conservation, including forestry. Aware that Section 8 of the Forest Conservation and Management Act of 2016 establishes the Kenya Forest Service, whose function, amongst others, is to conserve, protect, and manage all public forests in accordance with the provisions of the Act. Further, aware that Iveti Forest, which occupies parts of Machakos and Kathiani sub-counties, is gazetted as a public forest pursuant to Section 31 of the Forest Conservation and Management Act of 2016. Aware that the old tall trees along the Kathiani-Machakos Road sometimes fall off and cause obstruction to motorists. Cognizant of the fact that for the safety of the road users, there is need to come up with measures to clear fall of trees along the aforementioned road. Acknowledging that His Excellency the Deputy President imposed a 3-month logging ban on public forest which expired on 24th May 2018. Honorable Speaker, I wish to give a notice of motion that the county government of Machakos, in collaboration with Kenya Forest Service, puts up measures to clear all the tall fall of trees along the roads which pass through Katunga Forest Complex since the national ban on logging expired. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Dominic. And now I wish to call the leader of majority for one. Sorry, Mr. Clerk. Proceed, Mr. Clerk.
Order number 7, statements.
On this one, we've got one statement by the leader for majority, Honorable Mark Mwendo. I gather that Honorable Betty Zoki will hold brief for Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable Betty, representing the great people of Masi and a member of House Business Committee. Honorable Speaker, I stand understanding order number 41, 2A, where during the statement hour, a member of the House Business Committee, designated by the committee, for that purpose shall, for not more than 10 minutes, present and lay on the table a statement informing the House of the business coming before the House. Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee met on 18th November 2019 to review and ballot business for the House for the week of 19th to 20th November 2019 pursuant to the provisions of the Standing Order 151 as follows. On Tuesday morning, 19th November 2019 at 10 a.m., report of Transport, Roads and Public Works Committee on the status of county major roads by Honorable Daniel Bevi, Chairperson, Transport, Roads and Public Works. On Tuesday afternoon, 19th November 2019, at 2:30 p.m., that a motion that the county government of Machakos, in collaboration with Kenya Forest Service, puts up measures to clear all the tall trees along roads which pass through Katunga Forest Complex since the national ban on logging expired by Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, MCA Kathiani Central Ward. The Machakos County Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2019, first reading by Honorable Ndambuki, Chairperson, Budget and Appropriation Committee. On Wednesday morning, 20th November 2019, at 10 a.m., report of Budget and Appropriation Committee on first supplementary budget estimates for the financial year 2019-2020 by Honorable Dominic Ndambuki, Chairperson, Budget and Appropriation Committee. on Wednesday afternoon, 20th November 2019 at 20:30 p.m. a report of Budget and Appropriation Committee on first supplementary budget estimates for the financial year 2019-2020 by Honorable Ndambuki, Chairperson, Budget and Appropriation Committee, continuation of the debate. And last but not least, Madam Speaker, report of educational tour to Malaysia by Honorable Robert Kisini, Chairperson, Environment Committee. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Betty, for the statement. Now proceed, Mr. Clerk.
Order number 8, motion.
On this, honorable members, we got one motion by Honorable Daniel Bevy, Chairperson, Transport, Roads and Public Works Committee. Honorable Masesi still holding brief for the chairman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, once more. I would like to read the motion of the Committee Transport, Roads. Madam Speaker, that aware that road transport plays a crucial role in promoting economic, social and cultural development of a region, and that improvement in road connectivity not only assures the development but also accelerates the process of development. Noting that improving the general road network in the rural areas has been used as a measure to alleviate poverty and attain the Vision 2030. Appreciating that Article 174F of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 states that one of the objects of devolution is to promote social and economic development and the provision of proximate, easily accessible services throughout Kenya. Further, the fourth schedule of the Constitution mandates counties to deal with matters of county transport, including county roads. Madam Speaker, noting that for this connectivity to be achieved, the county government of Machakos embarked in an exercise of upgrading several major roads to bitumen standard. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that this Honorable House discusses the Transport, Roads and Public Works Committee report on construction of county major roads. I wish to call upon Madam Speaker, Honorable Irene Bevia, to second the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Masesi. Honorable Irene Bevia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Irene Bevia, elected Jubilee. I wish to support.
Thank you, Honorable Irene, for seconding. Now, I now propose the question. Sorry. May I now propose the question that this Honorable House discusses the Transport, Roads and Public Committee Works report on construction of county major roads. Please have a seat.
Okay, you should have read to read, but now just allow him to read. Yeah.
Thank you.
Just call him to read.
Thank you, honorable members. I wish to call Honorable Masesi to read the report on Transport Committee Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, with me is the report on the Transport, Roads, Housing and Public Works Committee. Page 2, Madam Speaker, is the table of contents. Number 3 is acronyms. Page 4, Madam Speaker, is introduction. Madam Speaker, road transport plays a crucial role in promoting economic, social and cultural development of a region. Improvement in road connectivity not only assures the development but also accelerates the process of development of a region. Thus, road is one of the greatest fundamental institutions of mankind. Improving the general road network in the rural areas has been used as a measure to alleviate poverty and attain the Vision 2030. Beyond alleviation of poverty, the importance of rural roads extends to all aspects of development of rural communities, including demand for the access to health, education, and information. Madam Speaker, Article 174F of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 states that one of the objects of devolution is to promote social and economic development and the provision of proximate, easily accessible services throughout Kenya. Further, the fourth schedule of the same constitution mandates counties to deal with matters of county transport, including county roads. Committee mandate, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 190 FA and 5G, the Committee on Transport is mandated to investigate, report, recommend, and even propose legislation under its mandate. Further, Madam Speaker, in the second schedule of the standing orders, this committee is specifically mandated to deal with all matters related to county transport, including county roads, housing, street lighting, traffic and parking, public transport and ferries and harbors, excluding the regulation of international and national shipping and matters related thereto, county public works and services. Committee composition. Madam Speaker, this committee comprises of the following members: Honorable Daniel Mbevi, who is the chairperson; Honorable Irene Bevia, vice chairperson; Honorable Caleb Mule, member; Honorable Cosmas Masesi, member; Honorable Anthony Mulu, member; Honorable John Musimi, member; Honorable Margaret Bidi, member; Honorable Patrick Ituku, member; Honorable Pauline Monguti, member; Honorable Grace Mutwiwa, member; Honorable Margaret Ndalana, member; Honorable Talik Mulatia, member; and lastly, Madam Speaker, Justice Honorable Kitengo, a member. Madam Speaker, the matter under consideration, the background 4.1. Madam Speaker, it's worth noting that for connectivity to be achieved, the county government embarked in an exercise of upgrading several major roads to bitumen standard. The aforementioned roads are: number 1, Kidini Road, which is also Kidini Fota Road; number 2, Sevini Kionyweni Road. The committee was informed of these works during budget estimates and erogations for the financial year 2019-2020. The works had started in the financial year 2018-19 and were ongoing. Side visit, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, during a committee meeting, members resolved to conduct a site visit to ascertain the status of the ongoing construction of the roads by the county government of Machakos. Madam Speaker, the committee conducted a site visit in September 2019 to confirm the status of the roads as presented by the department. Madam Speaker, this includes: number 1, the length of the roads; the stages of completion; 3, the quality of the work done. Committee findings, Madam Speaker: 5170 Kionyweni Miu Road. Honorable Speaker, this road is in Modedeni Ward and its length is 16.5 kilometers and the width of 10 meters. Formation level to finish with 8 meters carriage. The estimate cost of the project is at Kenya shillings 205,750,000. Madam Speaker, scope of the work 5.11. Madam Speaker, the scope of work for this road is as follows: 1, excavation to level road formation; 2, provision of 150 millimeters well compacted layer of approved gravel to sub-base; 3, provision of 150 mm well compacted layer of approved gravel as base; 4, provision of 14 to 20 millimeters pre-coated chippings as first seal; 5, provision of 6 to 10 millimeter pre-coated chippings as second seal; number 6, provision of precast 900 millimeter diameter pipe culverts on identified sections; 7, provision of precast 600 mm diameter pipe culverts on identified sections. Madam Speaker, at the time of the visit, the committee noted the following: 1, the topsoil had been stripped off, excavation to level, that is road formation, and compaction had been done through use of county equipment and the only cost incurred was fueling. Number 2, Madam Speaker, is on pavement layers. The department provided all materials and laid a well compacted 150 millimeter thick sub-base layer of approved gravel on surface. This was also through the use of county equipment and only fueling costs was incurred, Madam Speaker. The department also provided all materials and laid a well compacted 150 millimeter thick base layer of approved gravel on service through use of county government and incurring fueling costs alone, Madam Speaker. As at the time of the site visit, there was also ongoing works of reprocessing of base layer to prepare service for priming, which was at 30% completion, Madam Speaker. Number 3, provision of a first seal. Madam Speaker, purchase and delivery of medium curing, which is MC30, in 200-liter drums. Completion status was at 30%. Purchase and delivery of 80/100 penetration grade bitumen in 180-liter drums was also at 30% completion. Purchase and delivery of 14-20 millimeter pre-coated chippings. Completion status at 30%. Application of medium curing 30 had also been done at 30%. This was also by use of county equipment, incurring only fueling costs. Laying of 14-20 pre-coated chippings as first seal had been, but only that percent using county government. That's only fueling costs incurred, Madam Speaker. Number 4, Madam Speaker, is provision of second seal. The department intends to purchase and deliver 1,584 drums of 80/100 penetration grade bitumen in 180-liter drums. At the time of the site visit, the department had only managed to purchase and deliver 25% of this. Number 5, Madam Speaker, drainage structures. The committee noted that these works had been constructed out, but an assessment of crossing culverts and rehabilitation of existing drifts had been done. Madam Speaker, the estimated cost of this contract is 15,913,000. The completion status as at the time of the site visit was 70%. Madam Speaker, the committee noted that the overall completion status of this road project was at 40% at the time of visit. Madam Speaker, 5-2 Kivini Water Road. Madam Speaker, this road is in Moore Ward, and the length intended to be covered is 7 kilometers with a width of 10 meters, formation level to finish with 8-meter carriage. The estimated cost of the project is at 153 Kenya shillings million, 450,728 shillings. Madam Speaker, 5.22 scope of work. 1, Madam Speaker, excavation and cutting away to spoil of black cotton soil along the road corridor of average depth of 1.5 meters. Number 2, excavation to level, Madam Speaker. Number 3, backfilling and compaction in layers of space obtained above. 4, provision of 150 millimeters well-compacted layer of approved gravel as sub-base. Number 5, provision of 150 millimeters well-compacted layer of approved gravel as base. Number 6, provision of 14-20 millimeter pre-coated chippings as first seal. 7, provision of 6-20 millimeter pre-coated chippings as second seal. Number 8, Madam Speaker, provision of precast 900 millimeter diameter pipe culverts on identified sections. Number 9, provision of precast 600 millimeter diameter pipe culverts on identified sections. Madam Speaker, during the site visit, the committee noted the following. 1, on earthworks, excavation and cutting away of black cotton soil had been done to only 30% completion status, Madam Speaker. Backfilling the above with approved material and compacting in layers had been done. Number 2, pavement layers. The department provided all materials and laid a well-compacted 150 millimeter thick sub-base layer of approved gravel on service obtained. This was done through use of county equipment, and only fueling costs were incurred. Reprocessing of base layer to prepare service for priming was at 0% at the time of the site visit. Number 2, provision of first seal. Honorable Speaker, the committee noted that all the works associated with the laying of the first seal had not been started. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, provision of second seal. Madam Speaker, nothing had been done on this phase as at the time of the site visit. Number 5, Madam Speaker, the committee was informed that these works had been contracted out, but an assessment of crossing culverts and rehabilitation of existing reefs had been done. The estimated cost of this contract is at Kenya shillings 54 million, and at the time of the site visit, the completion status was at 20%. The committee, Madam Speaker, noted that asphalt, concrete had been laid on the first 1 kilometer, also through contractual services. Madam Speaker, the overall completion of this road project was at 20%. Committee observations, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, based on the site visit conducted, the committee made the following observations. 1, that the completion status of Kidhini Water Road was at 20%, which translates to about 1 kilometer of the road being completed. The completion status of Seveni Kionyweni, that is Miu Road, was at 40%, which means about 4 kilometers of the road had been completed. Number 3, Madam Speaker, on the observations that the residents in the areas where the roads are being constructed complained of the construction taking too long, thus inconveniencing them. Third, at the time of the site visit, sections where the road construction was still incomplete had heaps of red soil, which makes it difficult for motorists to use the road. Madam Speaker, number 4, that the approved budget for the vote on major roads for the financial year 2019-2020 is Kenya shillings 105 million. The committee noted that the estimated budget for completion of these 2 road projects were at Kenya shilling 244,516,033 shillings, which is broken down as follows. Seveni Kionyweni Miu Road, Kenya shillings 121 million. Kidhini Water Road, Kenya shillings 81,686,838 shillings. Pending bill of, which is forwarded from the last financial year, Kenya shillings 41,829,194 shillings 90 cents. From the above, it is clear that there is a deficit of Kenya shillings 139,516,033 shillings, and that these roads cannot be completed during the current financial year. Number 5, on observations, Madam Speaker, that the roads projects had been contracted partially, that is, the tarmacking and drainage works had been contracted, and the other road works like grading, leveling, and marraming were being done by the county government. Madam Speaker, committee recommendations. Madam Speaker, the following committee the committee recommends the following. 1, the county government through the Department of Transport, Road, Public Works and Housing should ensure that the roads are complete in the stated period. This is to avoid inconveniencing the road residents where the road works are ongoing. This is to avoid inconveniencing the local residents where the road works are ongoing. Number 2, Madam Speaker, the county government through the Department of Road can try deploying members of the public to do the road construction and grading, i.e. Kazi kwa Vijana program. This by far will motivate the citizens, reduce wage bill on infrastructure, create jobs and reduce poverty, diversify opportunities, foster a feeling of ownership of public projects, circulate funds within the county, which generally boosts the economy and reduces cases of compromise as far as tender issuance is concerned. Number 3, in future, the county government should avoid partial contracting to ensure that contractors are fully responsible for their works, and in case the works do not meet the standards, necessary action can be taken. Number 4, Madam Speaker, the Department of Roads and Public Works should capitalize on grading and marraming of roads, since the cost of tarmacking is very high. This way more roads will be upgraded with less funds. Number 5, Madam Speaker, for these projects to be completed, the department should ensure early allocation of funds towards these roads in the budget estimates of the financial year 2020-2021. Madam Speaker, this can be captured in the annual development plan, which is currently under consideration by the Committee on Trade, Planning and Industrialization. Conclusion and acknowledgement. Madam Speaker, good infrastructure facilitates trade, economic development and improvement in the quality of life, especially in Kenya where roads carry over 80% of passenger transport. Madam Speaker, it is therefore my privilege on behalf of the committee to table the report on construction of major roads in Machakos County in this honorable house for adoption. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Report prepared by Nora Moteti and Margaret Wania were the clerk assistants and signed by Honorable Masesi on behalf of Honorable Daniel Mpefi. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Masesi. Since I had proposed the question, the motion, I now invite members to debate the report. Welcome, honorable members. Honorable Kamulu.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Geoffrey Kamulu, Hapakawa Stokiveti. First, I would like to congratulate the chair and the committee because of a very good report about that specified road. Madam Speaker, I've noted one thing which actually is a great interest to us. This issue of the county doing some activities on a specified road while some sections are given to contractors. Madam Speaker, here we are unable to assess and know exactly who has actually failed on specified performance. So, Madam Speaker, it is always good as the committee has reported and recommended that work should be given to a specified person for accountability and also transparency. Madam Speaker, in the report, I've also noted that there are heaps which are on that specified road. These are danger for accidents, it's prone to accidents and a confusion in that road. Madam Speaker, I recommend that the committee goes back to the road and see whether the road has been completed, because this report is not for today. They took that work sometimes back, and it's our hope that the county now has completed that road as per today. The other issue, which is very clear as far as roads are concerned, here in this assembly we noted that sometimes back the roads are in the county are not good. There are areas which has never seen tarmac. When we hear some regions have that kind of activity. For example, in my ward, there is a small section around Kaviani Market where we had been crying for so long that we be given just a half or even just 1 kilometer, but nobody is listening to that. Let this development be distributed all over the wards, but not specific regions. We also recommended at one time grading and all that. We should be given every sub-count a tipper, a tractor of its own, so that making of the road can be easy and can be within reach, instead of actually having just a single tractor just within that sub-count. That is something which we recommended, and I think even today we should repeat the same and get such. Grading of roads is not enough. The roads in Machakos County needs maram all over. So that's a serious recommendation. For example, this time of rains, everybody is complaining that the roads are impassable. So let the county allocate adequate monies so that we can have enough maraming of all the roads in the county, and especially in areas like Adhiani, where the region is hilly. Topography there is very hilly. The roads are, most of them are very impassable. So That's something actually we need. So I recommend the report. It's a very good one, but let the committee go back there and see whether what actually they saw has been done. Because most of the work, as we have heard, is done at 30%. 30%. If not 30, it is 20%. So the balance is too much. So, Madam Speaker, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Kamulu. Honorable Musau.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I do thank the committee and the board chair for work well done. Madam Speaker, we do appreciate that roads are a major backbone to economy of any given county or country, Madam Speaker. And a good roadwork network means facilitation of conveyance, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, though we know there was a challenge in getting the monies to fund the same from the national government, Madam Speaker, I would wish that our executive moves very fast to see that those roads are completed, Madam Speaker. In fact, last week I was in the 7 Kionyweni Road, Madam Speaker, and I assure you things there are not so well. But we do believe with the coming of the monies, because the monies are being given by the national government right now, Madam Speaker, the roads will be complete so that we may get value for the already spent money, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is by roads that commonly our people and our produce are conveyed to the markets and to their destinations, Madam Speaker. Therefore, bad roads means failure to reach destination, wastage of time, and at times, Madam Speaker, you can imagine, even the ambulances are not able to trespass some roads, Madam Speaker. So, it also may mean some loss of life because of the delayed deliverance of the sick one to the designated hospital, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, wishing MACHAKOS could have the best roads, it could have the best economy. A place like Biuni Ward, Madam Speaker, it is the home of horticulture, Madam Speaker. But I tell you, Madam Speaker, and I tell the House, most of the produce in the horticulture just rot when the roads are not passable, Madam Speaker. It is therefore, Madam Speaker, realistic that our people are putting a lot of effort to produce. They want to improve economically, but the roads to take their produce to market, Madam Speaker, are impassable, Madam Speaker. I would call the executive to move with very high speed, Madam Speaker, so that actually we may become the county #1. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Weshimiwa.
Thank you, Honorable Musau. Honorable Irene Bivia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wish to congratulate you on the good job you're doing. And I'm a member of this committee. And I wish to say that good roads lead to an improved community and an improved nation. And the recommendations and observations generated in this report are very clear. And I wish if they can be followed to the latter so that the work can be completed. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Irene Bivia. Honorable Judas Dawa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Judas Dawa, representing the great people of Matu. Madam Speaker, I would wish to congratulate the committee for such an elaborate report which has been brought to this House. The recommendations are 100%. If they are 32, I'm very sure Machakos will be different from how it is today. Madam Speaker, the only issue that I would like to bring to the attention of the House is that when we talk about roads, sometimes you repair a road this time. Come next season, the road goes back to the same status. When I was in school, my economist teacher told me that some needs will occur even after satisfaction. You satisfy this need today, in the morning, in the evening, you have the same problem. You satisfy a need at night, as you wake up, you have the same need with you. So, Madam Speaker, as we challenge the executive to ensure that the roads are passable, let us also know that some needs reoccur. Some projects are permanent. Like the time we were given an opportunity to front projects. Those who gave out classrooms, ECD classrooms, those projects will remain even if you are not in the office. But if you gave out your money to go and engrain and maybe maram a certain road, come next season, you will require more funds to go and do the same project. Otherwise, the recommendations are good. Then the other thing, during rain season, it is evident that there is a lot of noise, especially on issue of roads. When the rains come, a lot of noise. During dry spell, everybody is quiet. So, Madam Speaker, the House is very much aware that the tango which was there between the National Assembly and the Senate is the one which affected all the counties, leave about Machakos. All the counties were affected because of that delay. And I believe this is a reason why some of the projects are not completed. But I believe, and I strongly believe, that the project will be completed in the due course. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ndawa. Honorable Moses Mita.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for granting me this opportunity to also contribute to the report by the Transport Committee. First of all, thanking the committee for the elaborative job they have done. Honorable Speaker, the issue of infrastructure, especially roads, it's very critical towards growth of our county. And Honorable Speaker, I think it would be prudent if we put more efforts towards ensuring that our roads are passable at any given time. Honorable Speaker, as much as I can concur with my colleague Honorable Ndawa that during rainy season is when most of our roads tend to be impassable. Honorable Speaker, I think what I can request the committee to do is maybe to check on the status, current status, especially from the programs which we have had. Since the time each sub-county was allocated a program, Madam Speaker, I think it would be good if they would maybe engage the CEC and East Department, Roads Department, and maybe come up with a report showing how far we have gone. If it's grading, how many kilometers each ward has been graded, and even on the issue of the projects which honorable members gave, Madam Speaker, it would be good if the report would be tabled in the House for a clear follow-up, Madam Speaker. Otherwise, I thank the committee and I wish them well as they embark on other engagements. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Moses Mita. Honorable Betty Nzioki.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable Betty Nzioki, representing the great people of Masi. Madam Speaker, first and foremost, I want to congratulate the committee on the good work. It shows that how dedicated we are for our duties and responsibilities to serve the people of Machakos County. Madam Speaker, I want to speak more about my ward, that is Masi ward, as many of the honorable members have given their recommendations concerning the status of our roads. Madam Speaker, because I do believe that there is a handshake, I want to request the Office of the Governor that he can extend the KRB roads to each ward so that at least our people can appreciate the job that they are doing. Madam Speaker, the way the Honorable Mita said, I would request the committee to visit each ward so that they can give us the status of our roads, at least for them to know for the executive to know what is happening on the ground, especially this rain season. So, Madam Speaker, I think it is good for us now to put more efforts, especially on infrastructure, because people are crying day and night and the roads are impassable. But it is my hope that the executive is going to follow the recommendations to the latter for the betterment of our roads in our county. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Betty. Honorable Thomas Mutinda.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Thomas Mutinda, Member of County Assembly, Wamonyo Ward. I take this opportunity to thank the committee for the good work done. And Madam Speaker, I think it's the high time the county takes an audit and identifies the different types of roads which are in our county. We have the Kenya roads which are in our county. We have the Kenya Urban Roads Authority roads. We have the Kera roads. We have the county roads and maybe the community roads. And it's important that we do an audit so that we may know which road belongs to which body. Madam Speaker, there is those roads which belong to the county, and they come to meet to join those which belong to Kera. So sometimes you go in a ward or in a road and you find that a road for county has been done, but the one for Kera has not been done. So there should be that movie in tandem, so that wherever we are making roads, also Kera is making, so that roads are all passable. An audit needs to be done, Madam Speaker, so that all roads are identified and each body takes control and takes care of its road. Madam Speaker, when you go to a ward like my ward, Wamonyo, the town has not been tarmacked. Wamonyo town, Yadhuye town, and they are just very few which have not been tarmacked. Others have been tarmacked. Now we are tarmacking rural areas, and urban roads have not been tarmacked. So it's an area of concern, and I request that the county government does grade does tarmacking of those towns, so that we come to the standards where the other towns have got to. Because we also have to attract investors. We also have to attract tourists. As you know, our place is a place of carvings, and those are things which can support our people economically. So, Madam Speaker, I thank you and say that it's the high time the county moves forward and does the necessary. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Thomas Muamunyu Ward. Honorable Caleb.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my colleague, the MCA, Matu, has said that some needs reoccur even when fully satisfied, but others take longer to reoccur when satisfied. I was requesting that if this assembly and the committee recommends that we do more tarmac, because if we have more tarmac roads in our county, that need to repair roads will not reoccur oftenly. And again, Madam Chair, I can feel the mood of the House that every person is every member is supporting the report. So you can put the question, please, Madam.
Thank you, Honorable Caleb, for trying to assist the chair in putting the question. I now call the mover to reply.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm happy and I wish to appreciate the members for their passionate contribution, Madam Speaker, towards the report. Madam Speaker, the report reminds me of that the executive needs to do something on members, Madam Speaker, who did not benefit the last financial year on the KRB roads. Madam Speaker, I believe the budget committee has taken care of that. at least, Madam Speaker, for there to be some equity among the KRB roads to all members of this county assembly, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the reason now I was thinking, Madam Speaker, the executive needs to look at the roadmap program which we have across our sub-counties. And Madam Speaker, maybe they give us a budget to make sure that the grading is accompanied by marraming of the sport parts, Madam Speaker, which are on muddy areas, Madam Speaker, during the rain seasons. Madam Speaker, we are doing the grading as we talk. So, Madam Speaker, I wish and believe that if the grading could be accompanied by some marams, Madam Speaker, that could have been very fine. Madam Speaker, this report is not that odd. The committee went on the site on September this year. So I would like to assure members the report, Madam Speaker, is almost up to date, because Madam Speaker is only the month of October, which lapsed. And again, I believe, Madam Speaker, if we are given the duty again, as a committee will go again to the field and bring the present, Madam Speaker, state of these roads. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I would like to request the members to give some more budgets for the roads. Madam Speaker, since we have started them, to make sure that there is some completion and good results, Madam Speaker. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, the area members of the said roads need to look at the state of the work and make sure that we get quality work as county government. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Cosmas Masesi. I now put the question that this Honorable House discusses the Transport, Roads and Public Works Committee report on construction of county major roads. As many are of the opinion say ayes. As many as are of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. We will forward this committee to the executive for implementation. Thank you, honorable members, for debating very seriously. And now, the House adjourns to the Tuesday, the 19th day of November, 2019 at 2:30 p.m. Thank you.